there were definitely a lot of people that I had like who are acquaintances who I'm not really I'm not friends with now, but like who went down the wrong path and started applying money in the wrong way. And
like in what way?
Scamming, robbing people, and it's like those things are like these are people who I thought like we're gonna like, you know, when I was thinking about me coming here, I was thinking about, yo, we all gonna go together. We all going to Jersey, or we all going to wherever we need to go. But it's like they ended up going down the wrong path, which it definitely hurts me today, because like those are like my brothers, you know, back home. But it's like they thought that, I'd say especially in African American communities, they think that getting money through the fast route, they think that like they love fast money. Like it's like, and it's like when you get money fast and it's like you living your life on the edge, people think it's like fun. But at some point, like it's like, bro, you can't do that forever. Like, you know, by the time you hit like 30, let's say even like 25, like you're not scamming no more, you're not robbing people, because it's like, bro, you're a grown ass man, bro. Like, you know, like go get a job. And it's like these guys who are in there, they're not getting educated, and from there it's like, okay, now you're working at McDonald's or some shit. It's like,
So, you've been injured before this season, like during the season itself, or during lifting, or is it like the first time you really like had something?
it's like, I'd say this is like aside from my hands, this is like the first time I've really actually gotten a real injury, like on my lower body.
Like ever, or just this year?
I'd say ever. Like I always had like tightness in the hips every now and then, but this is like the first time I've actually like really.
That's impressive. I mean, I feel like it's common to at least like have something injured, right? There was like, I mean, how do you see it like on other people? Like, is that pretty common, like to go your whole year without like ever hurting anything, or what?
I'd say it is pretty common. Like especially I have a lot of the people on our team with like Jacob, Isaac. That's like they're always having like sometimes lower body pain. Like especially with Jacob, he had the same thing last week, and he actually like pulled his shit too. So it's like making sure it's like you identify that. Okay, I have a problem, and just not like just keep going with it. You have to go check it out. You have to go stretch it out and like take some time off so you can come back even stronger.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like stretching is one of those things that is so great, but everyone's like, oh, I'll do it later, you know? Like, I mean, I don't play like a sport right now. I mean, I wrestled in the winter, but I mean, even if I'm just lifting these days, I think stretching is always important. Yeah. But it's always that thing. I'm like, oh, I'll do it next time. I never want to do it. But.
Yeah, because it's like, I think, especially people think stretching is just like, they think it's more of an optional thing, but like I feel, especially now that like I am injured, I think now it's more like stretching. Like in a couple of years, especially when I'm older, if I really want to make it, stretching is gonna be the major thing that's gonna like get me to where I want.
Why is that? Like, what is it about stretching you think that's so?
Because it's like, when you think about it, it's like, especially when you're, for example, you're lifting or you're running, you're going from like really high pace, really high motor to like nothing when you don't stretch. And that stretch is just like lengthening out your muscles that you just like worked just to like give them like oxygen, like give it like time to like recover. And if you don't stretch and you just like let's say like normally I'd go to the gym, go work out, come back, go just chill take a shower, go chill in my room. And it's like now I'm just sitting down for like hours and not doing anything. My body's gonna start to like lock up because I didn't stretch. And it's like that's like the biggest thing. For example, like LeBron, like that's $1 million body. Like he every single year he takes care of his body, and that's why he's still in the league. And that's the same thing with like NFL players like DK Metcalf. So it's like I know that if I want to continue that exponential growth, I need to be stretching.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, these guys, LeBron and all these football players, like it's impressive like what they're able to do with their bodies at such an age too. You know, like I've never been that old, but I can only imagine like as you get older, like your knees start to hurt and your body starts to tighten. But
like that's the thing with especially in the NFL, you have guys like Calvin Johnson, Megatron. Like he was a really good player, but it got to the point where it's like, bro, his body just couldn't take it after a certain point. And it's like you have some NFL players who like don't care, who are like I forgot who it is, but like I think it was Randy Moss. Randy Moss is like, I don't stretch on game day, I come ready, and it's like I wanted to be like that, but I also know that like I'm not Randy Moss. My body ain't moving the same. Yeah.
So what's the timeline looking like? So what's next for you? I know that's a big question of football players this year with the beautiful Peddie mayhem. But what's the plan for you?
Right now, especially with my parents and where everything, like where I feel like God has been leading me, I think I might stay. And it is kind of hard, like seeing all my, like, I built like a lot of really good friends this year, like Xander, Sean, Nate, my roommate John, Merritt, and it's like, it's definitely hard seeing all of them like decide to leave, because it's like, I don't even think of them really as friends, to be honest. I think of us really as like brothers. Like we've been like the same. Like we literally always in the dorm together, always doing dumb shit. And it's like, it's just kind of hard to think like my Merritt, he's going to Blair. Sean going to Hun. Xander's going all the way to North Carolina. Yeah. Nate. Me, I think I can make Nate stay. I got it in my soul that I can make Nate stay, but he probably is gonna, like, if Blair gives him the money, he's probably going to Blair. Yeah. And yeah, but to be honest, I think I might stay. We have a really good head coach coming. We have
one like set now.
Yeah, Coach Fabish from Columbia. Really good coach, really good guy. He told me he's doing stuff to make us have a good season next year.
Recruiting stuff.
Yeah, okay. Because like he's coming from college, like he knows how to recruit. You know, so it's like I'm gonna put my faith in him, and I feel like if I just follow his lead, I'll go D1, and like that's the plan.
So why do you think, if we still have a head coach coming who's gonna put the thing together, why do you think so many people are still choosing to leave? Is it because there's just so much uncertainty with whether it'll work or not, or what?
I guess at one point it also is uncertainty, but the other point is also like, apparently last year, even before I was in this position to come here, apparently the same thing happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Fontana situation?
Yeah, and that's when Fontana took the reins and became the head coach. But now it's like, with Fontana gone, they did a good job getting Coach Fabish. In my opinion, that was a smart move, because he's a college coach, and at the end of the day, they want to bring Peddie back to what it used to be. Because like that's why I came here. That's why even Xander told me he came here because he saw, especially all of us being Canadian, he came here because he saw John Mechie. John Mechie is like, he's like that in Canada. You go to anywhere, like you say, yo, like John Mechie is like, he's known there.
Like, who's John Mechie?
Running back for the Texans.
Okay.
Like, well, he's a running back, but he also played wide receiver, slot. Yeah. Like he can play running back. I've seen him play running back, but I'm just saying. But yeah, John Mechie is like really tough. We also had this dude who played again. He used to come to Peddie. He left Peddie actually, and he's from Canada too. He left Peddie, went to Deerfield. From Deerfield, he went to Stanford, and he put on a show against Colorado, against Deion Sanders' son and everybody there. So like, Peddie had dogs back in the day.
We had some good recruits this year as well, like the senior class, like with Boone going to Yale.
Yeah. Jackson Boone is like, and it's crazy to be honest, because it's like,
he's also a 4-year student here, so.
And like, the craziest thing is like, we didn't this year have a D-line coach, so to me it's still crazy that like, literally everybody on our D-line is either going D1 or going very high D2. So it's like Isaac Saffold, hell of a player, hell of a D tackle.
Where's he going?
He's going to Georgetown.
Oh shit!
In my opinion, like I feel like a lot of schools missed out on Isaac Saffold because, in my opinion, he's a Power 5. He's a Power 5 talent, but shit, like I'm telling you, like be on the radar. Like when he gets to Georgetown, he's gonna cause some havoc. He's probably gonna go P5. Then Jackson Boone. Jackson Boone is like, Jackson Boone's an athlete. Like he's like, when I think about who's like really like that, Jackson Boone is an athlete, bro.
Yeah,
like,
you see that. He's one of those weapons, man.
You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, like, once Jackson gets to Yale and he actually gets a D-line coach, oh my God. I'm telling you, like, Jackson will probably, and if he locks in, like dead ass, Jackson will go from fucking Yale to probably like Bama, and from Bama to the NFL, I'm telling you.
Oh man.
Like Jackson is an athlete.
Well, I'm glad to have a conversation where we're putting Peddie football on a positive light. It looks like you have a lot of hope. Yeah, because like, especially with everybody like wanting to leave and everything, it's definitely been like, everybody's kind of been down. Yeah. Like I haven't had a conversation with a teacher today talking about, yo, you should definitely look for somewhere else just in case. And it's like, yeah, I definitely hear you. But it's like, did you have an offer at one point for another school?
Offer?
Did you apply anywhere?
Yeah, like I have applied to some other schools just in case. But I think I will. I think, especially when my mom wants what she wants, I think I will stay at Peddie.
Okay.
Then, this year we had like, it's sad that they're leaving, but this year we had talent. Like Xander Batista at wide receiver and DB. Xander's a very talented player. Like, it's crazy to me how at his height and with his measurables, like, yeah, he's not as big as coaches want him to be. He still knows how to put on a show. Like, if you're coming to our games, especially against Hun, he still knows how to put on a show. He's a good player, and I feel like a lot of coaches need to see that. Merritt Fisher, that's my dog. You know, like, even as much as like we dick around sometimes, like I do hate him sometimes, but like that's my dog. He's there. He's a talented QB, you know, and like I feel like
I think he's saying he disagrees.
It hurts me that he's leaving because like that's my bro. But like I feel like wherever he's at, he's gonna go. Like, we didn't really have the best season this year. With like, we didn't have an offensive line, and I can't blame him for some of the things that happened. But I feel like next year wherever he goes, he's just gonna go and go and shine. Who else? Brock.
Oh yeah.
Brock's a linebacker for us that we had this year.
I actually don't know what Brock's situation is either.
He's actually going back to Canada.
Oh, yeah. Actually I didn't talk to him about that recently.
You know, so he's a talented linebacker. He is. You know, he didn't do too bad with us this year. Like, to be honest, I don't know what he wants to do. Like, if he wants to continue to pursue football or if he doesn't. But I feel like whatever he's gonna do, he's gonna go shine. You know.
Yeah, he's a great guy too.
You know, he's a good. Like, he's actually a good people.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
Well, you keep mentioning like all the friendships you're sad about losing.
Yeah.
But you were also like a new junior here. So what was the situation going from 10th grade to 11th grade here? Like, was it similar with leaving people behind, or do you feel like something different?
Like, I actually was a reclass actually. So I was already in Canada. If I stayed in Canada this year, I was like supposed to graduate. So it was, to be honest, kind of like now, like this, like summertime, and I was like, I went to a couple camps, and actually no, probably like a couple months from now. That's when I started the process. I went to a couple camps in the States. I went to Penn State, I went to Virginia Tech, and I went to Pitt for a visit. And this is when I was slowly starting to become like a better D tackle at my position. And I'm like, if I'm doing all this, like I was beating everybody at the camp. I was like, if I'm doing all this stuff at a camp right now and I'm still in Canada, I need to get to the States. So I hit up our former coach, Coach Fontana, and he tried, like he was talking with me, trying to get me here, and he got me in contact with actually Merrick. That's the first guy I knew at Peddie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why we're together a lot, even though like she's my friend. She's a dickhead sometimes, but. Yeah, and like they definitely helped me out with my game. And
so is that like the mindset that most of your friends in Canada had, is in like, to really pursue your career you have to go to the States? I mean, I know there's the league in Canada as well, but does your decision based on like the one to go States or not really depend on like your level of football, or what does that look like for you?
No, like not really, because here's like really the biggest thing. In Canada, we got talent in Canada. Nobody can tell me we don't. Like, we got dudes in the CFL who are coming to the NFL this year. We have literally the number 5 player in the class of 2025 is a offensive tackle from Canada.
Wait, what do you mean, like class 25? Like where, overall in the country?
Like in the entire country.
Oh shit.
He goes to Choate right now. He actually used to play with Nate. He's the number 5 player in the class of 2025 from Canada.
Wow.
So it's like we got dogs. It's just that like the biggest mindset we got over there is like, if we want to go to the league and play Power 5 football against the best players, we got to come to the States. It's like we got dogs in Canada. We got.
It's like established though. Like that's the thing. It's not whether like the U.S. is better at football than Canada. It's just like the NFL system established, the money. It's all there.
Yeah. And it's like everybody know the NFL. Like we got even in British Columbia at UBC, we got 2 guys who are going to the league, like applying for the draft this year, and they didn't even leave. And they're like going to their draft, and it's like that's tough as fuck.
Does the NFL draft from Canadian schools? I doesn't even know, right?
You can, but you gotta be like toughest. Like you gotta be tough. Like
so it's happened.
Yeah, like the 2 dudes I'm talking about. Yeah, they're coming straight out of like Canadian schools and going straight to the draft.
Oh shit.
So yeah,
that's nice, dude. So what are the origins of your story is football? Where you come out the womb like, I want to be a football player, or what?
Actually, no. You know, like
really.
What really started was like growing up. My mom always put me in like my mom put me in everything. To be honest, like,
that's good.
She put me.
That's what you need as a child.
You know,
yeah.
I was playing soccer. I was playing basketball. I was learning how to play guitar, piano, dancing and everything.
Dancing?
Yeah.
I dance too.
You know? And it was like, yeah, my mom, she did put me in a lot of things, which like, to be honest, I'm really grateful to my mom for that, because I know there was a lot of kids who, especially where I'm from in Toronto, they really wish they had like some of the opportunities I have, because like my mom never really, I would say she never really kept me in a bubble. Like she told me I could do anything growing up. So it's like with that mindset, I always just like always advocated for myself, and like whatever I wanted to do, I went to go pursue it. So football was really like, growing up I was always a really big kid, like fat a lot. Like I was really a fat kid. I was a fat kid in class, and like it wasn't until lockdown happened and I was in 8th grade and I was looking for high schools, and like during lockdown I got all the way up to like, I'd say like in my mind it was 360, but it could have been like 340.
So this is your lifting at the time, so you're not just.
So I'm not lifting.
Oh, you're 360,
fat,
pretty fat.
Like straight
man.
fat, 360 pounds.
Wow.
And this is like the summer going into grade 9, and I'm only going up. So in that 8th grade, me and my mom, we went to a couple of open houses for high schools. So there was this school I really wanted to go to, Chaminade, because I knew they had a good football program over there. And I didn't really have a lot of friends, but I had a lot of acquaintances who were at Chaminade. So I went to go apply, and like since the school was out of my area, I had to do like a special test for it, which sadly in the beginning I didn't get in.
Oh man.
So I had to go to this school which was closer to my house.
And this is just academically you want to go here? Or?
No, football wise.
Oh,
like,
you're set on football at the point?
Yeah, like
okay.
I've never played a snap of football. I've never played football in my life, but I'm like,
you want to develop.
I'm big. I want to play football. You know.
I see.
So from there, like in that 9th grade year, it was still online. So I ended up going to a school closer to my house, which was James Cardinal McGuigan. And
is that James Harden?
No, James Cardinal McGuigan,
okay.
like JCM. And I was like, it looked like I didn't really have the like school experience. I probably came to like half-day classes, and I went home right after. Like it wasn't like that shit wasn't even real. I'm not even gonna lie. But in grade 10, I transferred to Chaminade, and that first year, like it was tough. That was my first time playing football, you know, and I was just grinding it out. Then I started playing basketball in that summer, and that's when I started to cut down weight, and I got all the way to like 280. And once I got to 280, like I would say this: once you lose weight, you start to feel like you could fly. I'm not even joking. Like you
you just need a little bit of something to give you that self-image you need,
yeah.
And then it just takes off.
And it's like once I started to feel that, that's when they put me. Like my first year, I was playing only offensive line. Then they put me at D tackle, and that's when it started to like things started to click for me. I started to make plays, and after that season, that's when I started to really be like, okay, I'm a D tackle now. What am I gonna do? Well, like, how am I gonna like pursue this? And that's what led me to the camps, and that's what led me here. But the crazy thing actually is that when I was playing football, even when I was 360, in the back of my mind, I thought I was gonna go to the NFL, not NFL, NBA. I'm so dead ass. I thought I was gonna go to the
That's
league.
good. That's why you became successful. Like you've really developed from a 360 pure fats to a legit football player now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought I was gonna be a hooper though, until one of my coaches, he's like, "Yo, you're not gonna be a hooper. You're not going to the league. Just stop playing and go play D tackle." And I'm like, "Why, coach? I don't want to be fat, you know." Then it's like, "You ever seen Aaron Donald?" Searched him up. I'm like, "Yeah, he's like that." So I'm like, "Fuck it, why not?"
Well, that's good though. I feel like your childhood really helped you a lot because from what I'm hearing, you established that self-image early on.
Yeah.
In my mind, the perfect childhood is one where you can just do as much as possible.
Yeah.
And with the support of someone telling you that you can be good at anything, that's all you really need. Because I think that success in this world comes down to simply your self-image. Because you know what a positive feedback loop is?
Yeah.
Like we learned in bio, like positive feedback loop is where the stimulus of some action results in more of the action, right? So it happens and it goes in an exponential rate. Like for example, when you're giving birth, like the way your hormone system in your body is designed is that when you push the baby out, it actually releases more hormones that make you push more, and it works in that positive feedback loop. Versus a negative feedback loop, like when you're cold, you start to shiver, and the shivering makes your body warm up, and when you get warmer, it stops the thing from happening. So it's negative. Yeah. But I think that self-image acts in a positive feedback loop because if in your mind you believe you're great, you will go on to take the actions of someone who is great, and those actions will result in the results that further prove your self-image. That takes out. But there's a lot of people I think I've also been in this spot in like middle school where my self-image was poor, where in the back of my mind I kind of felt like I didn't deserve anything. I felt like I wouldn't be successful at anything. And if you have a poor self-image, that leads to poor action because you're not. If you think you're just not going to be successful, why would you go out and try? It leads to poor results.
Because like, especially when I first got here, it was like every time I wake up, there would be some nights I'd wake up and I'd be dreaming that I'm in my bed at home, and then like I'd wake up and I'd be like, I'm not at home. I'm in fucking Jersey. Like my mom's not here, and especially when I first got here, I kind of got homesick because it was like nobody I knew was here. Like I had my friends, but like we barely even knew each other like that. And it was like, I won't lie, I'm a mama's boy. Like when I'm at home, I'm always with my mom, helping her cook and everything. And it's like, that was my support system. Like my mom, my cousins, my siblings, like, because I was just like, how am I here? Because especially in Toronto, like I won't lie, I live in like the trench. Like I live in the hood. It's like it's bad. Like if whoever's watching this, if you know what Driftwood, Ontario is, like it's bad, bro. And me getting here, it's like I'll say nobody in my area. Like to be honest, if it wasn't for my cousin and my mom and other people in my family who really believed and like who really had the same mindset as me, and they were like, okay, he wants to do this and he's actually putting in work. Let's actually let's help him do it. Like if it wasn't for them, like I'm telling you, like petty tuition is not cheap. Like even though I'm on like a lot of financial aid, petty tuition is not cheap. So like I feel like you really need that support system, especially like if you want to pursue something. Oh shit!
There's a spider crawling on the table. Sorry to break your moment though. But yeah, how'd you deal with that coming here? The homesickness, the first time you're really away from your support system for so long.
I would say also it was just like going out and like talking to people a little bit, because especially when I was at home at Chaminade was an all boys school, so especially when I first got here, it was kind of weird talking to like girls a little bit. I don't lie, like I don't lie.
It's a little different.
Yeah, it was just different.
You know what? I wouldn't say that's the States versus Canada. I would say that's petty versus middle school. It's a petty thing.
Because like in my opinion, like especially when I first got here, I had no game. I didn't know how to talk to nobody. Even when I was first meeting my teammates, that was kind of weird to them because I was like,
socially?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, we didn't really hang out. I was more like in my room on the phone with my mom, just saying like I'm good, I'm chilling. But like once I really started to like kind of get out of my comfort zone and like talk to more people, try to build more relationships, build friendships, I would say that's when I really like stopped calling my mom as much and like actually going out and going to go have fun with friends. Yeah,
that's good. I'm glad you were able to make that transition. But how long do you think that took you like, to fully come out of that bubble?
I would say like maybe a couple months, maybe 3-4 months. But I'll also say like, especially when I first got here, I'd say I definitely looked different from when I first like coming to Peddie.
You mean physically or
like physically, and like I'd say like even like not really my personality, because like my personality is really just like I'm really a happy guy. Like
yeah,
I'm not, like I try to say hey, what's up to everybody, teachers and everything. But it's like I'd say like physically, when I first got here, I was really chubby. I had like
I'm trying to remember if I even spoke to you in the beginning.
Yeah, like it's like even Xander we were talking about this a couple of days ago. It was like I've never seen somebody like just like face just change that fast. Cause like I had like a scruffy little beard.
So you said this like happy guy nature was there before as well, or just kind of? You said that you were by nature really happy.
Yeah.
Was that also developing throughout the year, or was that there from the beginning of the year?
No, that was there from the beginning. Okay.
My
mom, I don't lie, my mom raised me, like she raised me right. Like even when I got here, like all the teachers were like, you call me ma'am, that's really like traditional. I'm like, yeah, my mom raised me right. It's like and it's like hard for me to change because every teacher I know, like for example, my math teacher, shout out to Mr. Sawula, He like I call him sir, and he's like, yo, you don't gotta call me sir all the time. Like you could just call me Mr. Sewell. And
those are good manners. Like I think when I started hanging out with Brock in the beginning of the year as well, and I've noticed like, he used to say like pardon a lot, like things like that, and more than I think about it, like I can't remember the last time he said pardon.
Yeah.
Like he used to be like, I think those manners that I think it's also just a Canadian culture of saying sir, saying pardon.
We're
saying
really
man.
nice.
Like I fuck with that culture. Like it's just a nice way to live with respect. But I think your environment does play a huge role in who you are as well. So I can see that kind of declining in some people. But
because especially here, it's like you'll hold the door for them. They won't even say thank you. They'll just walk through and it's like you try.
Bro, come on. Finish your thought.
Oh yeah, you try not to like overthink it. You just walk past and then just be like, you want to say what's up? Just have a good rest of your day. Not too much.
So you that would rarely happen in Canada.
Yeah. If you held the door for somebody in Canada, they're always saying thank you, appreciate it. Like even if their headphones are in and they can't hear what you're gonna say back, like it's always a thank you. It's always, or even like a head nod. Just
that's all you need really. But again, I wouldn't say that's a U.S. thing. I would say that even in the U.S., state by state is very different. Mm-hmm. Like when I'm in New Hampshire, the people there are nice as fuck. Yeah. Like I'm probably similar to the people in Canada. Or if I went to, I went to Michigan recently, and people are nice there as well. I think that this area, like the Northeast, a little bit like Jersey, New York, you'll get that energy from people. Yeah. And when I travel from place to place, like when I go there and come back, usually, then you see that divide like so clearly. But then we assimilate it into culture, and you're just back in I guess the rudeness of the culture.
Yeah. But I also say like the States is like really big. Like I've been around, not everywhere in Toronto, like in Canada, but like.
Well, Canada's bigger, bro.
I would say that, but it's like when people talk about Texas and they're like, yo, I'll drive like 4 hours and I'll still be in the same state. Like that's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Well, I guess U.S. feels big because there's also like so much of it developed too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Canada is also like wilderness up north, which is cool because I love nature and stuff. But there's so many different parts of the U.S. that it's crazy to think it's the same state, like up in Alaska and then the Hawaiian Islands and Texas, which feels like its own country.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I definitely, in my opinion, I'm going Canada over the United States, but I definitely want to see what else is like there. Like I've only been to Jersey, Indiana.
Why'd you go to Indiana?
I actually got family up there.
Oh.
Because originally when I wanted to come here to come play football, I wanted to go see if I could go stay up there with them, but she didn't work out. So now I'm in Peddie.
So why you go Canada over the U.S.? What are your reasons?
It's just home. When especially when I'm in my city, it's like I know where I'm at. I know how to get around. Like. Especially with my mom, because like gas costs a lot. So my mom was never really like, by the time I hit I think 13, my mom never really drove me around. Like I was always on the TTC.
What's the TTC?
Public transport. So it was like, I'd be on the bus for example, the gym I go to, especially when I'm home, it's like almost an hour and a half bus ride.
What?
And I take it every single.
You still do when you go home?
I'm telling you, like I really only noticed how long it was once I got home.
That's 3 hours of your day, bro.
You know?
What do you do on the bus ride?
Just play, hop on TikTok, start scrolling, or play some Pokemon Go every now and then. Play some.
So why do you take that commute? Is there no other gym in the area? Or?
I guess it's just like fam. Like the people who run that gym, that's just like family.
It. Like it feels good.
Yeah, I've been going there since originally those are the people who helped me actually lose the weight. So it's kind of like I guess you could say like a mom and pop gym. It's like really like a small, not a lot of people know about it, and it's like they got me like all the conversations when I was talking to them about different schools, talking about I can't pay for this. Should I try to go here? Should I try to go there? Like they're like family. Like to be honest, like even if I told them that once I make it and I'm in the league one day, like I'm gonna go invest in them, and we gonna get a big ass sports complex in Texas, and we gonna live it up, because in my opinion, the biggest thing I really want is for my mom to be straight, for my family to be straight, and like generational wealth. So then a couple years that like I don't want my grandkids to be like snotty as fuck, or like just to like be like, excuse me, pardon me, but like dickheads. I just want them to be like, I still want them to be like down to earth, but I just don't want them to never have to worry about like the shit I had to worry about, like okay, it's Christmas. Am I gonna get gifts this year, or like what are we gonna do, or like where am I gonna get new clothes at? You know, and my mom is a grinder. Like there's shit that I wanted that like she had to do certain stuff for just to like, you know, get the bread for us, because like she knew I wanted, like, especially when I was a kid, I love games. My mom bought me a DS, and it's like DSs were expensive. Like back then, DSs were expensive to her, and she still like, you know, locked in, got me a DS, PS4. So like I'm telling you, especially once I get back, I'm gonna get a check. I'm gonna write it out, $1 million.
That's beautiful, man.
It's my mom. Yeah.
It's beautiful. How do you think you'll find that balance? Like, I think it's definitely possible to get that wealth and still establish the values in your children, right? I think it's not about the money, because the money's the money, but you can still, I think, give your children, like, have a lot of wealth in the family, but still establish those values. I think it's possible, and I think as long as you have that clarity, which I think you exemplify really well, because you already know very well what you want, right? Like, you have your life planned out in your mind. That strong self-image that's going to drive you, and the values, being down to earth. I mean, what are some of the values you think you live by on a day to day? What keeps you going every day?
I think it's really just like, it's just my mom. Like, it's always just like, I do make mistakes every now and then. Like, I'm not perfect, but it's just like, growing up, just like watching my mom. Like, my mom came to Canada in 2006, pregnant with me, and it was like watching my mom always talk about wanting to buy a house, but never ever being able to, or being in the right financial position to. Always really like, it hurt me, because it's like everything me and my siblings wanted. Like, I'm one of 4. Like, I have a little sister after me and 2 younger brothers, and it's like everything we wanted, she's always done whatever it takes to get us that. Because like that's like, you know, that's my mom. Like, that's my best friend. And it's like, I know that even me being here, it's not easy for her. Like, there's definitely nights where it's like she's just like stressing, and it's like I'm here just living life and joking around, and sometimes, I hate to say it, sometimes taking it for granted, but like it's just like, just keep on grinding. Like I'm here for a reason, and that I need to make it, take care of my family, and like I know eventually there's gonna be a day where it's like, not that I'm gonna get bored of football, but it's gonna be like, yo, mom, I'm like done. And it's like, I just need to make sure like I do whatever it takes to be the best at what I do. Like, that's always what's really in my mind. Just like, be the best at whatever you really want to do. Because it's like, why be second? You know, why be second? Because it's like, if you have the chance to be the best, and it's like you're not chasing it, like you don't really want it that bad. You know, so it's like, I also say like, even when people see that you're chasing something, and it's like, even when they see that you're working hard, even though you're not the best at it, people will really appreciate it more than somebody who's just the best and they don't even work hard. So I also say that,
yeah. I think the lifestyle of just working hard is fun as well.
Yeah.
Like, just having that kind of mission, that there's something really bad you want to achieve at different scales, right? Like for you, playing football, getting good at football, going to the league, like it's an amazing goal, right? I think a lot of people I've met at the school have that kind of grind set mentality of like so many kids here, these the Asian kids that are just grinding out schoolwork every day. Like it's like the grind set mentality of just like being great at what you do, and just like even just trying out new shit, trying to get good at anything. But I love that, dude. I really do.
I also say like people are always really just trying to like find a purpose, because it's like me, I'd say I'm a big believer in God, and like that God has a plan, and that everybody has a specific destiny that God has like planned out for them. And it's like, I think it's like a lot of times people just try to fill in, because it's like hard, you know, not knowing what your God like put you on this earth for. So it's like people just trying to find purpose in it, and it's like that's how it starts to like from there. It's like, especially with the people I know, it's like if they're studying, like they push it as hard as they can just to know that like, yeah, I'm the best at this, and I'm going to grind, so I'm going to set myself up for whatever I can do in the future.
So you think that people grind because it gives that sense of purpose?
Yeah.
And it kind of fills in the category of the existentialism of like not knowing why you're here.
Yeah.
And having something to grind for is really what allows you to do that.
Yeah.
I see. And I respect the religion piece a lot. So have you always been religious, or is this more like recently, or why?
I'd say, here's the thing, like growing up, like my mom and my aunt, she's actually a minister at the church I went to since I was a kid, and The thing is that I don't want to say I was always religious because like it was like I was dropped into like a church growing up. Like I was baptized, I had my first communion, like all of that. Like it was never really a choice. Like that's my family. But I'd say now that like I'm older, now I can say I'm actually religious. Because I'd say like a lot of kids who are dropped into that church scene, they'll say that they're religious, but they don't go to church. They don't
really believe it, I guess.
You know, it's just that like my family believes it, so I guess I believe it too. You know, so it's like now I can say like I actually believe that God is there. There's an external, like there's a omnipotent power, like who's watching over us, trying to keep us. Yeah.
How'd you get to that place where you have that certainty now that you didn't have before?
I would say it's more like there's been too much things in my life that's happened in the short time I've been here that's like there's no way it's not, like in my mind it's like there's no way it's not God, because like there's one time I almost got hit by a car, and it's like literally it was like this close. Or there was another time where like a car ran over my toes, like dead ass, and
I was like a lot of car experiences, man.
Yeah, and I was like perfectly fine. So it's like there's just like no way. Sometimes I'm just thinking like, there's no way it can't be God. There's like, and it's like I do have a lot of friends who like not the biggest believers, you know, but it's like I try to put it out there. I try to put it out there and tell them like, you know, there's definitely somebody looking after you. Like even though it's like you may not believe, like I still pray for them, because like those are my bros. Like if you don't pray for your friends or you don't try to bring them to God, like, you know, what's the point? Like, do you really believe in God at the end of the day?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think it's also that much more applicable today, because I think religion was a big piece of people's life for most of our recent history, like last few thousands of years, but I think really recently it's starting to die down. And I wonder why that is. I think our culture of humanism and consumerism has really led that to decline more, that instead of us putting our faith in some external power, we put our faith in our own hands and say that I can control my own life. So we see a lot of people value like what I feel instead of what I think is correct by some rule, which I think because of that it is dying down. But I think religion gives you a good set of principles to live by. And I'm not saying this as if I am very religious. I couldn't say I am based on like my own actions and stuff, but I'm not like against it. Like I think it's still a good way to live, and I think I want to explore it more as I go on. Like having some piece of religion, like the religion itself doesn't even matter, you know, just having that to live by. But yeah, in terms of the piece of there's just too many coincidences. I think everyone I've talked to said that. Like, they look back at their own life and wonder like, how did this all work out? Like how did these things happen? You know? You think of some stories like in your own life, like and you just reflect on it, like that's kind of crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
And
yeah.
like my parents tell me stories of their own time. Like I could try to remember the story. I hope I don't totally ruin the story by telling it poorly. But this is a long time ago. When my dad was, I think, in his 20s. I believe he was teaching. He was either a student or he was teaching at the time. When he was young in his 20s, he was teaching. That was his job at the time. And the place where he taught at, like the school, and the place he lived was pretty far, and he had to take this road, which is a dark road. And this is pretty like in like the late 1900s. So it was like there's no street lights. It was really dark road. Like it was like a very dark alleyway through wilderness that he had to drive. I think it's wilderness. We'll just go with it for the story, even if I butcher it, whatever. So he has to drive through wilderness on his motorcycle every day, and it's pitch dark.
No light on that motorcycle?
The motorcycle got light, that's it. Until one day the motorcycle breaks down on the road.
Damn.
And he's shit scared because he can't walk that far. It's like miles and miles, and it's like 11 at night or something. It's pitch dark outside, no car coming by, and he's just walking. He's kind of dragging it. He doesn't know what to do. Like you can't really call anyone at the time. Like I don't think phones were a thing back then. And he sees the headlights of a car approaching him, and the car approaches him, and he kind of waves at him. The guy stops by the road, and he talks to him, and my dad explains the situation. His bike broke down, doesn't know what to do, and the guy says, all right, let me do this for you. He takes the motorcycle, puts it in the back of his car, drives him down, gets him to a repair shop, which happened to be open, gets the bike repaired, and he drives home. And he goes home, goes to bed that night. And the next morning he wakes up, and his friend who was living with at the time was like, what happened last night? I saw you got back late. And he explained the situation that, my motorcycle broke down and someone put it in the back of his car. And he looks at him and he's like, someone put that motorcycle in the back of their car? And he looked at how big that motorcycle was, and he's like, And he's describing the car. It was always just like some small, I don't know, Subaru type car. And he's like, started thinking like, how could that car even fit?
Fit a motorcycle.
Yeah. And he got his number last night, so he tried calling him. It didn't go through. The number didn't exist. And then he tried to find the repair shop he went to. He couldn't find it.
So shit, yeah.
He couldn't find the repair shop.
You know, so it's like.
And apparently he told me he was also praying to God that night too.
Like, you know, God got a plan at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Like that story gives me the chills, man.
Yeah. Cause it's like shit. God got a plan, man. For real.
And I also think when I talk to people, like in these conversations, like this is episode 31, and I've had so many times where I've talked to someone who said the same thing, like they have some story in their life that just makes them believe. Like even on episode 30, like the last episode I just did, chill bro. I was talking to, actually this is also one of my dad's students from back in the day, but I was talking to him and he ended up telling me a story of how his dad died when he was born, like really early on, and he went back. So his dad was an Indian in India, and he had the chance to go to Hungary to study there, and he was like the only Indian immigrant there in like the late 1900s. And that's where his dad died. And he went back to Hungary to look for his dad. Not look for his dad, but look for the origins of his dad, to learn more about his story and stuff. And within 24 hours, he was able to learn so much about his story. But he says that there were so many coincidences that led to how he figured out that much information. Like he ended up walking by someone who was the only person that spoke English there, and he actually stopped him. Like the other guys stopped him and talked to him and said that, "Oh, do you need help? You look lost." And he's the one who actually helped him out and helped him to find all this information. So there are just way too many coincidences for this to all just, you know.
It's like, Tony, God got a plan, man. Like, I feel like God will never like do something like. Especially my mom always tells me like, especially in like football or like whatever you have in your mind, it's like God will never ever bring you somewhere just to leave you. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you may be on your like last straws, or like you may not know, like, because I know a lot of people where it's like they felt like I have nothing going on, like I feel like they're broke, no bread, and it's like they're like, what am I gonna do? And it's like God opens the door, new job, new car, girl in their life, they get married, they like have a big family. So it's like I feel like there gotta be something. And in my opinion, there's like no downside of believing in God, because I hate to say, like, worst case you don't believe, right? Okay, now you go to hell, and it's like, who the fuck wants to go to hell? Like me, I don't want to go to fucking hell. Like I'm just saying, like I'm sorry for swearing. Like that's something I definitely got to do, especially as a Christian. Like fix how much I like curse a little bit, but like nobody wants to go to hell, you know? Like. Just, I feel like it's just like there's no downside in having faith. So it's just, you know.
It's peaceful too.
You know, it's peaceful. Be optimistic.
Yeah, because then you're not constantly wondering like the meaning.
Yeah.
And you know, even if it's not religion, as long as you have something that helps give that meaning, I think people find it in their own ways. Like even non-religious people I've talked to say that they have some belief set that gives them meaning. And it's interesting how as humans we need meaning. Like if you don't have meaning in your life, you start to go crazy.
Yeah, literally.
So you really, like as he said, like we all try to find that purpose somehow, and we just find different ways to fill in the crowd. I think sometimes also inside our own mind, there's multiple voices.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just categorize that one like deeper knowledge side of me as like God. That there's some like force driving me to do the things I do, and one of the goals in my life is to access as much of that inner knowledge as possible, and to block out as much of the human desire part of me. You know, like the part of me that's gonna say, like, fuck the wisdom I have and just go out and just do what I feel like doing in the moment.
Yeah.
I think it's helped me a little bit, because then also it gives you more agency too.
Yeah.
Or it's not like you only leave it up to God, but if God is like that source inside of you telling you what to do, then you actually have to go out and do the work to see the results, right?
Because like actually, I was talking to Coach Volkmar, strength and conditioning coach, yeah, and he was telling me like God will he'll always God. I feel like he was telling me like God is gonna show me the way, but it's like you can't just like, for example, me, I want to run 4.940, right? I want to run a 4.940, right? If I want to run a 4.940, I can't just like yeah, I can pray every day, but it's like, am I gonna run a 4.940 if I don't do none? No, I'm not gonna run a 4.940 if I don't do none. So it's just like, just keep that consistent work, praying to God, and it's like I dropped my 40 like almost like 2/10 in like 2 weeks. So it's just like just keep on working hard. Like keep on working hard, keep on praying, everything will work out. That's my mindset right now.
And it's worked out for you. So
yeah,
far,
you know,
it's in the right direction. And even if the goal you think you have in your mind right now, where you will ultimately be, like maybe that's not even the final destination, but just that knowledge that you'll be there wherever that place is. You know.
I just try to be a bright light for the people around me. Like even like people that I don't know, I always smile at people. So
I see you do that.
You know?
Like I respect people that smile a lot.
You know?
And I think you're one of those people. Like I'd say another person I think of is like the sophomore like bio class. He's always smiling too. But I see people that smiles. Like it makes you feel happy, but it also makes you want to smile more.
You know?
Because you want to give the energy to other people.
But
I always say that, and I always struggle to smile at other people. But it's good you have that, bro.
You only live once. It's like I'd say like something I've been trying to do, like not live every day like your last, but like you really only got one life. Like tomorrow is really not promised. So it's just like make sure it's like you're happy. Like don't, if somebody does something bad to you or somebody does something wrong to you, like don't overthink about it, don't over stress about it. Cause like one thing especially my friends have taught me is like, have you overthinking about a problem ever changed it? No. Have you like putting so much energy into one thing ever like fixed it or anything? No. So it's just like
out of your mind, right?
You know?
Yeah.
So just like
that's where all the suffering is.
You know?
It's all up here.
Just like leave it. Just leave it.
I heard this quote, you can't think your way to happiness.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, cause like that's even like if let's say I like for some reason, let's say Mr. Beast sends me $73 million today. I'm not gonna like it's not like just like me having that money is gonna make me happy, but in the long term it's like money's just like, especially I feel like especially with people who have a lot of bread, at sometimes it's just like money's just money at the end of the day.
But also like it's different whether someone gave it to you or whether you work for it as well.
Yeah.
Because like you feel more happy when you work for the money you earn. I think. Yeah. It's cool, man.
Appreciate you.
You have a lot of cool stories. What are your thoughts on making money overall, though? Like, do you think? I know a lot of people have this debate where, does money make you happy, or do you think grinding for money is a good thing?
That's actually a good question. I was actually watching this video about like this dude who was talking about like you only have one life. Like he got like a $100 bill. He's like, okay, it's a $100 bill, right? I could go buy a couple things with it, right? If you rip a $100 bill in half, it's useless. So it's like you have so many people who spend all their life just chasing after that bill every single day, and it's like it's not a bad thing, but it's like that should be second. That should not be like the main thing. Like obviously, go chase the bag. Go get your bread up. Go stack it. So it's like you never have to worry about it ever again. But I'm saying like in your life, that should never be like the main priority. Like not the main priority. Like not never the main priority, but like you know what I mean. Like never. That should never be like the only thing you're focused on. Because like there's so many other aspects in life, and it's like life moves really fast. If you don't look around, you're gonna miss it, man. Like literally, I remember when I was fucking 12 years old, really just thinking about, yo, when am I gonna be 18? When am I gonna turn 18?
Yeah, that's what I remember.
I literally turned 18 like literally in November this year, and it's like, do I feel 18? Do I feel like I'm about to turn 18?
I only 12, right?
You know, like I still feel like a kid, but it's like life moves fast, bro. Like I remember like I was in elementary school talking about like, yo, when I get to high school, I'm gonna do this. When I get to high school, I'm gonna do that. All my plans have really changed. Like, well, I never thought I was gonna be in fucking New Jersey right now. Yeah. So.
Well, the only thing you got is like right now,
yeah,
the present moment. Like you're also saying that living each day with that sense of purpose, or living each day with that sense of energy, as if you only live once.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I think the way the mind is designed is just to fixate on the future and the past.
Mm-hmm.
You to think about all the things I'm really excited to do, or all the things I've done, but we fail to be here right now a lot of the time. And I try to reflect on each day and really ask myself, like, was today the best day of my life? Which I know is kind of cringe sometimes, but it does help me, because if it isn't, then I'm not saying that you have to be happy all the time, but if there's something you're waiting to do, that you have to really ask yourself, why am I waiting to do that? And I think that's helped me a lot, because it's so easy to make an excuse for why today's not the right day to start. And then I think feeling like you have like clarity, like you're doing everything you want to be doing, it feels good. But back to what you mentioned with make the money, it's not bad, but you also like you have to find a way to like appreciate it, right? I think that you really need two different things to find that place of like happiness, whatever. It's like money, sure, but plus clarity. I think clarity is a good word to describe it, because I describe clarity as like this knowledge that constitutes like a good life, like feeling like you are living that good life. And I think to feel that energy is that like you wouldn't want to change a thing. I think it requires a lot of reflection, because I really think you can be happy anywhere. You can have $10 million and be really happy. You can be broke and be really happy. You can have a great family and be really happy. You can be an individual guy who's going out partying every day and be really happy. And you can be going to a highly academic school and be really happy. You can go to a shit school and be happy. Like, I think happiness is not fixated on the external thing, but the ability to be there and tell yourself that this is like great, right?
It's like happiness. Yeah, exactly what you're saying. Like, that's definitely true. But especially when it comes to money too, I also wanted to say that it's like, it's also really just like how you're chasing that bag. Cause like, especially from where I'm from, like, there were definitely a lot of people that I had like who are acquaintances who I'm not really I'm not friends with now, but like who went down the wrong path and started applying money in the wrong way. And
like in what way?
Scamming, robbing people, and it's like those things are like, these are people who I thought like we're gonna like, you know, when I was thinking about me coming here, I was thinking about, yo, we all gonna go together. We all going to Jersey, or we all going to wherever we need to go. But it's like they ended up going down the wrong path, which it definitely hurts me today, because like those were like my brothers, you know, back home. But it's like they thought that, I'd say especially in African American communities, they think that getting money through like the fast route, they think that like they love fast money. Like it's like, and it's like, when you get money fast and it's like you living your life on the edge, people think it's like fun. But at some point, like it's like, bro, you can't do that forever. Like, you know, by the time you hit like 30, let's say even like 25, like you're not scamming no more, you're not robbing people, because it's like, bro, you're a grown ass man, bro. Like, you know, like go get a job. And it's like these guys who are in there, they're not getting educated, and from there it's like, okay, now you're working at McDonald's or some shit. It's like,
but I also think that's just culture for anything these days.
Yeah.
Just quickness. Mary, you leaving us?
What?
You leaving us?
No.
I was just taking a piss. All right. Because if you think about our culture these days, we want everything as fast as possible. Like, we want our DoorDash order here in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We want our instant ramen ready in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
We want us to be able to communicate with anyone and text them within seconds. And if you have bad service, that's like painful.
Yeah.
We want everything in our life instantaneous. And that makes us forget like how you actually become successful, because for most of history, people have known, like all the farmers and everyone have known that to have a good harvest, you need to plant, sow, and then harvest, right? You don't just plant and harvest. Like, you don't plant the seed and you got the wheat, right? It's more like you plant it, you tend to it, you give it water, everything, and then you harvest it. But I think the culture has made people forget about that middle piece, and we just think plant, harvest. Click this text message right here, text, plant, harvest, right? Go get a printout right now, plant, harvest.
Yeah.
And it goes to everything, because then people think that they want things quick, and that creates this neurotic, overthinking part of your brain.
I'd also say like TikTok also has a place in that whole thing, because especially when you're swiping, bro, it's like, that's why I say right now people have like the least attention spans right now, because it's like with TikTok you're always swiping IG reels. Like my little bros, it's like, I remember as a kid it was like I would be so fixated on one thing. And now it's like, if this thing is not interesting to me no more, I'm just like, I don't care.
I think these conversations have helped me improve that attention span piece. I guess it's not easy to sit with someone for an hour and a half and just talk.
Yeah.
But it seems like you're doing pretty well, and you have good attention span. But overall, in terms of people, yeah, it's hard. Like, the hint of boredom, you pick up your phone. Like,
Yeah.
let's just look at that human culture type. Did you ever think about that? Like how every 2 seconds you're like just like this.
Yeah, it's like somebody, especially something like, it would be like no text messages, nothing has happened, but it'll just be like, yeah.
Oh, no one texts me.
It's like deep. Like sometimes, like even I have some friends. Sometimes, like I'll wake up first thing I'm on. Where's my phone at? Where's my phone at? Just to see if it's charged.
Peace. Yeah, man. But it also makes you feel like you always need to know what's happening. That if I'm away from my phone for 5 minutes, like you'll be insignificant, which I know sounds extreme, but that's low-key the feeling that's been ingrained in us, even if it's just in the background. Like, imagine you didn't have your phone for a day, like you think that, oh, how am I going to stay in touch with everyone? But I think the more and more you realize it, like I've tried to lower my screen time quite a bit, and you realize that a lot of it is just mental noise and it's not even real. Like the pains and suffering that's been implanted in our brains, those are very intentionally designed by the app creators. Like they want you to feel that certain type of way, and they've reprogrammed our minds.
It's like shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary world, but
for real, yeah.
I pray for us.
You know, we pray, yeah.
That's all you can do. Just keep having these conversations. Keep hoping that we take the right decisions. So when you say that your friends took the wrong path, I think, again, having the clarity to know that you're on the right path is challenging, because there's definitely moments where you feel like you have the wisdom to know, like, oh yeah, this is where I am, this is where I want to be, this is how I'm going to get there. I define that as clarity. Like, this is where I am, this is where I want to be. But I think when you have so many people in your life that went that certain path, like, how did you know that you didn't want to go down that path as well?
I'd say because especially being from Driftwood, my mom kept me in. I'd say the best term to use is my mom put me in a bubble where it was like I had a lot of friends who like in the hood, like around my area, but my mom, I always credit my mom. She did a great job raising me. I had a great support system with my cousins and everything. And it's like, especially being African, it's like my mom was always like, I always had like role models to look up to. Like my cousin Ayamide, it was like he was not in the streets. Like he was in school, he got his master's. He got a great family now. Like it's like he's like. In my mind, like that's the blueprint, and it's like I live by that. Like it's like that's where I'd like to be in a couple years, Like he's the dude who like I actually look up to, like, and I like all my cousins, Uncle G, all of them, like they got like they're people I really respect because like they were in the streets, they got jobs, good families, they're living life. So it's like
it's good to have that.
Yeah,
I think having a role model is the ultimate source of clarity. Like for me, for example, I think a big part of my life is health, and the one thing I respect the most about my dad is his obsession with health. Like he's never drank in his life, never smoked, never done anything. These days we don't even, like in the family, we don't drink any soda or any bullshit. We try to eat clean, we try to have a healthy lifestyle. Like he's always going on runs and stuff, and I respect that a lot about him. And obviously, like with people like you, they take it to like another extreme because you're training. But I think even for normal people, just having a mindset of health, I think that's like one of the biggest values I developed. And there's definitely moments where there's people that want to pull you away from what you're doing. And that's not to say that they're bad people, but it's just environment wise and different belief systems and like I might be so focused on health, but I might have some other flaw in me, and they might be better at that thing, but they have this flaw. Like we're all like imperfect as people, and it's not to say that other people are bad for doing that, but at least you have that value set you can always fall back upon. That health is important to me, and that is like the purpose of my life, and like that helps me to clarify. Like no matter what happens, like no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I think I'll always want to be a healthy guy, and that helps.
And I also say like, especially on the topic of like imperfect, I'd say like, especially me, my goal is like to never be perfect, because it's like when you deep it, it's like I'm so young, I still watch anime, so it's like in Bleach, it was like this dude was talking about like perfection and everything, and it's like what he was really saying, it really made me think, because it's like when you're perfect, it's like, or like something's perfect, it can't grow, it can't become better, it's like where it's at forever. So it's like a lot of people will consider, like, so, let's say I make an invention, right? I say it's perfect. A couple years from now, somebody's gonna make something that's gonna just build up on my invention, and they're gonna say it's perfect. So it's like when something is imperfect, it only can grow from there, And that's where I like to be, like perfectly imperfect, kind of.
I like that, perfectly imperfect. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you just a visualization I like to do a lot is think about where you were a year ago today. That really makes you think. Like,
it's like
you thought shit was going well. You thought like you were doing pretty good. Now you're a year later. You're like, wow, that was me.
Shit don't even feel real sometimes.
Like just 4 years ago, where were you in Canada?
Yeah, Canada.
a couple years ago, you weren't even playing football.
Yeah, literally.
Like that. First, you stepped on the field like just what 4 years ago, 3 years ago, like.
Yeah, that's year 3. Shit. And it's like originally when I was a kid, everybody was like, put your son in football, put your son in football. My mom was like, nah. I'm like, shit, that's my life now.
Why'd you say that?
She was never really on like too big on contact sports, like hitting other people, and like now that's what I do every day. Yeah, so.
And I'm sure she's fine with it. Man.
Yeah. My mom's my number one supporter. Like, she's like, I was literally on the phone with her earlier today, and she was like bragging about me to somebody, and I was like, yeah, you know, that's my dog. You know, me and my mom got like a whole handshake and everything. Like, that's my girl.
Amazing, man. Well, thank you. Love talking to you. Ended up being great. We talked about a ton of shit. We're expecting it to go this well. You were?
Yeah, I
you got myself.
you know.
You believe that in your heart. I know that. Well, thank you, bro. Well, we can run this back at some point, but we'll be on our way soon. I think it's dinner time, anyways.
Yeah, dinner time.
Thank you, bro.
Salut!
If you enjoyed that episode, then you're gonna love this episode right here. Make sure to click here, watch that video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.